The late afternoon sun cast long shadows as Sarah hurried down the street. The air was cool, and the leaves rustled gently in the breeze, creating a symphony of whispers that seemed to echo her own anxious thoughts. She glanced at her watch, the seconds ticking away faster than she would have liked. Every step she took felt like a step closer to both excitement and potential disaster. Her heart pounded in her chest, a mixture of excitement and fear. The anticipation was almost unbearable, each beat of her heart a reminder of the stakes involved. She could feel the adrenaline coursing through her veins, making her hands tremble slightly. What if someone saw her? What if her parents found out? The questions swirled in her mind, but she pushed them aside, focusing on the moment. She was meeting Michael, her secret boyfriend. Their relationship was a delicate dance of stolen glances and whispered conversations, a secret they both cherished and feared. They had to be careful, always looking over their shoulders, always aware of the risks. But the thrill of it all made it worth it, at least for now. Their relationship was a clandestine affair, hidden from the watchful eyes of her parents. They had to be cautious, always on guard. Sarah often found herself looking over her shoulder, her heart racing at the thought of being discovered. The secrecy added a layer of intensity to their meetings, making each moment together feel even more precious. Sarah knew her parents wouldn't approve of Michael. They had warned her about boys like him, boys who were older and had a rebellious streak. They wanted her to focus on her studies, to stay away from distractions, but Michael was different. He made her feel alive in a way she had never felt before. He was older, a bit of a rebel, everything they warned her about. His confident demeanor and carefree attitude were both alluring and terrifying. He represented everything she had been told to avoid, yet she couldn't help but be drawn to him. He was a mystery she wanted to unravel, a risk she was willing to take. But she was drawn to him, to the thrill of the forbidden. The excitement of sneaking around, the adrenaline rush of their secret meetings, it all made her feel alive. She admired his confidence, his ability to live life on his own terms. It was something she longed for, a freedom she craved. As she reached the corner where they'd agreed to meet, she spotted him leaning against a lamppost, a charming smile playing on his lips. He looked so at ease, so sure of himself. It was a stark contrast to her own nervousness, and it made her feel a little more at ease. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. He straightened up as she approached, his eyes lighting up. The sight of her seemed to bring him genuine joy, and it made her heart swell. In that moment, all her fears and doubts seemed to melt away. She was here, with him, and that was all that mattered. "You made it," he said, pulling her into a quick hug. His embrace was warm and reassuring, a silent promise that everything would be okay. She held on to him tightly, savoring the moment. It felt like they were the only two people in the world, their own little bubble of happiness. Sarah melted into his embrace, all thoughts of her deception momentarily forgotten. In his arms, she felt safe, protected. It was a fleeting escape from the reality that awaited her, a brief respite from the constant worry and fear. She wished she could stay in that moment forever. They walked towards the park, hand in hand, their laughter echoing in the twilight. The world around them seemed to fade away, leaving just the two of them. They talked about everything and nothing, their voices mingling with the sounds of the evening. It was a perfect moment, one she would cherish forever. But even in that moment of stolen happiness, a nagging feeling gnawed at Sarah's conscience. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were living on borrowed time, that their secret would eventually come to light. The thought of losing him was unbearable, but so was the thought of living a lie. Could she really build a relationship on a foundation of lies? The question lingered in her mind, casting a shadow over their happiness. She knew she had to make a choice, but for now, she pushed the thoughts aside, focusing on the present. She would deal with the consequences later. For now, she just wanted to be with him. Every secret, every whispered phone call, every fabricated story chipped away at the trust Sarah's parents had placed in her. She knew this, yet she continued down the treacherous path of secrecy, clinging to the hope that she wouldn't get caught. But the truth has a way of surfacing, often when we least expect it. The foundation of any strong parent-child relationship is built on trust. When that trust is broken, it creates a chasm that can be difficult, sometimes impossible, to bridge. It's like a delicate flower. Once trampled upon, it withers and fades. Why do young people like Sarah resort to dating in secret? The reasons are varied and complex, often deeply personal. Some, like Sarah, fear their parents' disapproval, worried they won't understand their choices or feelings. Others may be ashamed of their boyfriend or girlfriend, believing their parents will judge them harshly or unfairly. Still, others might be drawn to the thrill of the forbidden, the allure of doing something they're not supposed to do. Whatever the reason, it's crucial to remember that secrets breed isolation and erode self-esteem over time. Living a lie takes a toll on your emotional well-being and mental health. Bridging the gap. Talking to your parents. Talking to your parents about your feelings for someone can be daunting, especially if you anticipate resistance. But honest, open communication is essential. Choose a time when you can sit down with them calmly and rationally, without distractions. Start by acknowledging their concerns and explaining why this person is important to you. Focus on their positive qualities and the positive aspects of the relationship. Be prepared to listen to their perspective without becoming defensive. Remember, they were young once too, and they have your best interests at heart. Parents, the unsung heroes of our lives. Parents often have an uncanny knack for seeing things we miss, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Their wisdom, gathered from years of experience, allows them to notice the subtle signs and signals that we might overlook in our youthful enthusiasm. They've experienced the ups and downs of relationships, the joys and heartbreaks, and they want to protect us from unnecessary pain. Their stories, filled with lessons learned and wisdom gained, are shared not to control us, but to guide us. While it may seem like they're trying to control your life, their intentions are usually rooted in love and concern. They worry about our well-being and want to ensure we make the best choices possible, even if it means having difficult conversations. Their guidance, even if it's not what we want to hear, can be invaluable. Sometimes their advice might seem outdated or irrelevant, but often it comes from a place of deep understanding and care. They can offer a fresh perspective, helping us to see red flags we might have missed. Their life experiences provide them with a unique vantage point, allowing them to foresee potential pitfalls and guide us away from them. They can provide a shoulder to cry on when things go wrong, a voice of reason when our emotions are running high. In those moments of despair, their comforting presence can be a beacon of hope, reminding us that we are not alone. Honesty, the cornerstone of any relationship. Honesty is not just about telling the truth. It's about living authentically, being true to yourself and to those you care about. When you're honest with your parents, you're not just sharing information. You're sharing your life, your dreams, your vulnerabilities. You're allowing them to truly know you, to support you fully. This level of openness fosters a deeper, more meaningful connection, one built on mutual respect and understanding. It creates an environment where you feel safe to confide in them, to seek their advice, to know that you're not alone. A new dawn of open communication. Imagine a scenario where Sarah, a teenage girl, finds the courage to confide in her parents about something deeply personal. It's a moment filled with anxiety and hope, as she takes a deep breath and begins to speak. She tells them about Michael, the boy she has been seeing. She shares her feelings for him, her excitement and her fears. It's a vulnerable moment, but she feels it's important to be honest. To her surprise, her parents listen without judgment. They don't interrupt or dismiss her feelings. Instead, they nod, showing that they are truly hearing her out. They express their concerns, naturally because they care about her well-being. But they also acknowledge her feelings, validating her emotions and experiences. In a gesture of goodwill, they suggest she invite Michael over for dinner. They want to get to know him better, to understand the person who has become so important to their daughter. It's not a fairy tale ending. There are still challenges ahead. Sarah knows that building trust, takes time and effort, and there will be bumps along the way. But by choosing honesty, Sarah opens the door to a new chapter in her relationship with her parents, one built on trust and mutual respect. The dinner with Michael is just the beginning of this new journey. She learns that true love isn't about hiding in the shadows, but about standing tall in the light, hand in hand with those who cherish her most. It's a lesson in courage, openness, and the power of family support.